Hello folks, welcome to Rajon Reviews. I am Rajon. This channel was created as a forum for people who love and appreciate film. While there are many options out there, I hope you find some value in what I have to say. Some you may agree with and others you may not. I think those are all valid takes, and my opinions are flexible enough to change based on new information. I will always love to hear from you, so please let me know what you think in the comments. In the week where the Snyder Cut of Justice League and Falcon and Winter Soldier gets released, I've decided to focus on this technical masterpiece called 2001: A Space Odyssey. While I'm not entirely a fan of the movie, I appreciate many things about it. Let's start with some context. In 1968, during the fever of space travel, we often had movies depicting space with a lot of pop and fun. Think of movies like Barbarella. We also had films that delved into our human psyche, like Planet of the Apes. In that movie, the question is asked, what happens in a world where humans destroy themselves and are no longer the apex predator? More endemic to the 60s were boring movies about the process of space travel and the politics behind it. So now, imagine you were living in 1968 and you walked into a movie theater where after the first 20 minutes of the film, you get to see space in all its glory. You get transported into the dark void where the rules of gravity do not work the same way. A place where you need special boots to move around, where you can walk up walls and pens float when you don't hold them. Yet, it's a world that is entirely familiar to the watcher, with the companies you're used to plastered everywhere, from Hilton to Pan Am. It serves its purpose of grounding the movie. Here was a movie that took space seriously. Long, drawn-out shots showed the vastness and loneliness inherent in space. And there's a lot of beauty to be seen in watching the spacecraft spinning in space as it tries to get in sync with the space station. The blue Danube playing in the background produces this luxurious feeling, and as the spaceship finally gets in sync and docks, it feels like you're part of something grand. As a reviewer, I felt the grandiosity in almost every frame. While the astronauts did their spacewalk, or when the security team approached the monolith on the moon. I even felt it when the apes finally discovered the tools they needed to create an advantage for themselves. The technical presentation of this movie is immaculate. As you may have noticed, I've not said too much about the story, and it's for a good reason. By design, the story is the weakest part of this film. While I can understand its intent, the decision not to focus on a solid narrative led to an entirely cold film where I have no attachment to any of the characters' plight. I did not care for the apes, I did not care for Dr. Floyd and why he missed his daughter's birthday, I did not care about Dr. David Bowman and his quest, I did not care for the ending of the film as Dave hurtles through time in a convoluted representation of a time warp. Many people feel that the interactions with HAL 9000, the world's most advanced supercomputer, are the most exciting parts of the film. And it does provide some much needed excitement, but in my opinion, the most potent sequences are the journey to the moon. I was captivated by the attention to the detail given the time. This movie was made in 1968. One annoying thing I kept coming across as I browsed through reviews was that Stanley Kubrick condensed human existence into a 2-hour movie. I was sorely disappointed to watch the first 18 minutes of constant ape babble give way to a jump cut that glides over a millennia of human stories. We could have just introduced the monolith and watched the ape get surprised and then just cut to the future. The last 30 minutes of the movie were just a bore. Dave was hurtling through time and space, flashing lights, helicopter shots over mountains, color lights, only to get into a room where Dave stays trapped for a millennia. People say this is a happy ending. What's worse than being stuck in solitary confinement in a space where you are unable to escape and then you get reborn to go through all that again? Time flows inconsistently and you have to face time echoes of yourself. A lot of people call this a triumphant rebirth. I feel differently. More importantly, I think the director was overindulgent. The problem with building a movie around its technicality is that in time, technology improves. While the movie stands out today for its technicality, nonetheless, there are now many more films that do this better. Gravity is an example of such a movie, and as well as Ad Astra. Ad Astra shares a lot of parallels with this movie, and it was influenced by 2001, no doubt. It uses practical effects, surreal visuals, a mostly non-verbal lead performance, a journey across the universe where its silence and vastness enhances the sense of isolation. If anything, I would call 2001, A Space Odyssey, a director's movie. A film that someone who makes movies can appreciate. It's a nostalgia-driven, technical masterpiece. And if I were in the movie theater in 1968, that sense of awe would be with me for the rest of my life. However, I am not, and the year is 2021. And as I listen to my sister snore on the couch after promising to watch this movie with me for my inaugural review, it's one I wouldn't invite my friends to watch over with me. If you like this content and you would like to see more, please subscribe. Rajon out.